everyone, welcome. This is the IPFS All Hands. Woohoo! This will be the first of the video calls today. We have Dignified Choir leading it and Lars taking notes. Thank you so much for checking in. There should be a stream. If you're streaming, that's awesome. We have an Etherpad. Check out the Etherpad. That's going to be where stuff is written down. I put the link in IRC. For the past month or so, we've had a bit of a new format for these calls where we sort of try to keep bike shedding and talking about things at length out of here and sort of just use this as a very quick way of saying what can we move discussion to, like, you know, what should we highlight and so on. You'll get the gist of it pretty quick. So with no further ado, no more gilding the lily, I will pass it on to Dignified Choir, who will chair this one.
One first thing, we hit the Hangout limit, and Jeremy isn't in the Hangout, so
That's
I know.
Not cool.
Yeah.
Is it, so that means this account doesn't get the bonus of the apps account? Does anybody have another apps account they could use to host so we can go up to 15? Or should we just switch to
We
Zoom?
can try that for a different call. I think we probably should keep rolling for this one because it'll take us at least 15 minutes to get that working.
All right. So Jeremy.
Stream, and if you have any comments, write them in the IRC.
Yes. Sorry, Jeremy. All right. So welcome. Thank you, Richard, for the introduction. Sorry for the technical problems that we had from the beginning with this. All right. The agenda is pretty short currently. So if you have something to put on there, put it on there quickly. So we're going to start with the roll call. I'm not going to try to make this alphabetically because that's going to take some time until I figure that out. So I'm going to go from my screen from left to right. So that's very biased, I know. I'm sorry. All right, so let's start with David.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm David. Work for Protocol Labs. Been hacking mostly on just IPFS and with peer-to-peer.
Thank you. Next, Emily.
Hi, I am Emily with Protocol Labs. I project manage IPFS.
Thank you. And next up, Samuel.
Hello, my name is Samuel. I work for Protocol Labs and on IPFS and apps on IPFS, mainly Orbit.
Thank you. Next up, Richard.
Hello, I'm Richard. I work on IPFS, mostly writing talks. I also do a lot of stuff just generically around Protocol Labs.
Thank you. And next up, Juan.
Hey, Juan, working at Protocol Labs, and lots of IPFS things.
Thank you. Next, Kuba.
Hi, I'm Kuba. I work for Protocol Lab mainly on Go IPFS and things connected to performance on it.
Thank you. Lars.
That's me. Hey, I'm Lars, working with Protocol Labs, mostly on the infrastructure side of things, doing things all over the place, and a bit in Go IPFS and Go peer-to-peer as well. That's me.
Thank you, Lars. Next, Matt.
I'm Matt at Protocol Labs. I'm the program manager, which mainly means I'm one who's responsible for the organizational roadmap, tying everything together.
Thank you. Next, Victor.
Yeah, so I'm Victor. I do not work at Protocol Labs. I'm trying to contribute to the JS IPFS and apps all around IPFS.
Thank you. Yeah, last, myself. Oh, right, wait, Jeremy. Jeremy is also usually with us. He got shut out due to technical limits. He is cool and he works also for Protocol Labs, and he works mainly on Go IPFS. Yeah, and me, yeah, I'm Friel, and I work also at Protocol Labs, and I do lots of JavaScript things currently. All right. I should mute myself. Sorry. So next up, we have additional agenda items. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up that is not on the agenda in the Etherpad currently? Nobody? All right. It's going to be a short one.
Oh yeah, I got one thing I'm going to edit.
Thank you, Ross. All right. Then we have the first agenda item that is not regular is milestones and waffle boards for IPFS PM and including IPFS community. That was brought up by Matt.
All right. So this is a little bit of eating our own dog food and a little just an announcement. So there's been this ongoing conversation about project management. There's that document with the pull request and all of that. Emily and I are spearheading that, and we'll be working with Jeremy on testing it out with the model that we have hammered out using Go IPFS as our starting point. But it occurred to me that I should also create milestones and a roadmap for all of these tickets related to this effort. So if you want to follow that effort, I'm now creating milestones for it, and I will be creating a waffle board for it, which gives us another place to be testing that process as a whole. And I thought I was going to have done more with it by now, but I dumped a cup of tea on my laptop, and it's been asleep all weekend in a box of rice. so it is what it is right now, and I'll be filling in those milestones today or tomorrow.
Cool, thank you. I assume that you're talking from your laptop now again, so it's back on?
Yes, as far as I can tell, it is completely unscathed. Keyboard is working. Yeah.
Praise the rice.
Yeah, praise the rice.
All right, cool. So this is just an announcement, no additional calls or anything needed for today here.
Nope, Emily and I and Jeremy will be following up on this. So that's just an FYI.
All right, next up. Go IPFS 043, review and changes. Lars, you put that on there, I think?
Yep, that was me. Juan went through all the changes for 043 yesterday and over the weekend and put together this massive list of awesome things to go through. And I think we should figure out this week which of these is blocking for the release. And yeah, that's it basically. What I wanted to say. Because as soon as we know what's blocking for the release, we know what to do about it. Because right now it's just a list. A great list, but a list.
Juan?
Yeah, so the first part is the list is broken down into two sections, and the first part is what I think needs to be in the release before it gets shipped. It's a number of things that are like more critical, and so like the first part is like what I think should be there. We should still discuss it though, and this may be something to bring up at the Go IPFS call today. So maybe let's make sure to talk about that then.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe that was a very small point. Oh yeah, right. It says pretty clearly must happen before 043 release. Yeah.
But it might be too much. It might be a lot, and I do know that 043 wants to get out, so some of those may not really be required. So.
All right, cool. So this is going to continue in the Go IPFS Hangout later. All right, and a new agenda item appeared. Richard, I'm guessing this is from you. Newsletter.
That was from me. Thank you. I've written a basic newsletter, which looks at the Go IPFS and JS IPFS and Orbit stuff. I've assigned a lot of the project leads to review it. Some of you already have. Thank you, Hod. Thank you, Lars. Super awesome. Thank you, Y. I would like this to go out within the next day or two. So if you have any spare time, jump on, look at the newsletter. I will be updating the community bit and going through Twitter for news feeds that are really cool. If you have any cool news stuff that's happened since Team Week, this letter is supposed to cover everything that's happened since like the workshop that we had with the community in Lisbon. So if anything cool has happened that you don't see in the newsletter, you think it should be there, please ping me. I would really like this to be a community effort. And thank you all so much for getting back to me and helping out with drafting it last week. Super awesome. But yeah, just take a look at it, and that's pretty much it, I think.
Cool. Is there a plan on the release schedule for the newsletter, for the new newsletter, or is that more like?
I mean, I was about to release it today. So
no, I mean in general, like after the first one that you're releasing now, is there do you have a planned schedule for this, like every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year?
Every month. My goal for this quarter is to get one every month. I don't think that's an unreasonable goal, and that way I don't waste too much time on it. Not that it's a waste, but I don't dedicate weeks, an entire week to building it, an entire week to building it. So hopefully once a month.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody take some time to review Richard's newsletter. The link is hopefully in the notes. Lars, please put the link in the notes.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, more items appeared on the agenda. All right, identity providers, Orbit, and more. Juan Had, this is from you.
Yeah, I think I added it, so I'm proposing some time to potentially do like a short call today, if it's possible, if not another time, to just discuss identity providers in Orbit. So Samly has been making a link between Orbit and Uport to give you some notion of identity and being able to have profiles and so on. And so that's really cool. And it's also modular to be able to accept other identity providers. Like you could just have a key, and then the profile data would be stored elsewhere and all that kind of stuff. So there's an interesting intersection of potential identity providers. One being you could have a chat system where your identity provider is some public private key pair from a government, and so specifically thinking of Estonia, where it gives you you have this card and you have like some way of actually signing statements with that card. So wanted to see what that would look like, and because there's an event happening in Estonia very soon, and so it might be like an interesting thing to hack there.
Yeah, just a note, Germany also has a passport which is able to electronically sign documents. I don't know how easy it is to integrate or what APIs exactly are exposed, but I know that it is possible to do electronic signing with the German identity system as well.
I would not encourage anyone to sign their keys on Orbit with their passport. Just saying.
And the German system is pretty weak, technically.
But yeah, Juan, let's have a call whenever we have time for it today. I think even after this, we could do a quick 10-minute talk and see what the options are.
Speaking of, I'm not sure about the German passport, but I believe it's the same system as the rest of the European Union, and actually it is pretty reliable and safe. I've used it in the past, and you can everything that gets signed inside the passport or inside the card, and you have to have your own PIN to be able to ask the card to sign something, and the private key identifies you. There is no registry though, so you have the cards with the private keys, and then you have to have some external registry to say that a certain signature actually belongs to a person, because that part never got developed. Nevertheless, it is. It is really so. It's pretty cool, and it works well.
The whole point.
Yeah, they forgot about that. They just give you a key that you only own. But
How
yeah,
do you prove that it's really yours?
exactly. You don't, but you have a key that like it's very hard to steal because like if someone even tries to open the card to steal the key by like copying the way that the electrons are like spinning inside, it auto destroys itself because it oxidizes as soon as you try to open the card. And like to basically to unlock the key, you have to have another pin. So there's like a lot of protections. It's the kind like the PKCS11 is the standard that governs all of that smart card stuff. It's pretty cool. Like, and it works. And there's like libraries for all the languages and stuff and so on. Not for the browser though. You would have to have like a native client to do that. Just a thought. Sorry.
No problem. All right. So, David, you're probably going to be in this call as well, I guess. All right. So we schedule this for 15 minutes after we finish here. So probably in 25 minutes starting, to be sure. So we have enough room for you to finish up here. So that's yeah, in 25 minutes. Figure out your own times. All right, thank you. Next up, we have community announcement. Code for Philly.
Since we had so few items, I figured I'd call out that I am working on a course on distributed systems that I'll be teaching here in Philly as part of this mentorship thing, where what we're going to do, like the final section of the course, we will try to create a IPFS adapter for noms written in Go. And so we're going to cover everything you need, walking in the door of like, I just know how to write code. Everything you need to know in order to write that and understand what's going on. All the system stuff, all the distributed system stuff, all the Merkle tag stuff. And we will be trying to, as much as possible, create all of those learning materials as stuff that you can use for online learning on your own. So if there are people watching this video or who find it in the future who are interested in learning about all this material, watch for that course. And I'm making a ticket right now to make sure that our online learning materials connect to that course and its materials.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, everyone. There are no items appeared anymore. So last chance to add anything into the agenda if you want to talk about something specifically now. Otherwise, we're going to go into the Hangouts. I believe the first one, as I said, is going to start in now roughly 20 minutes about Orbit and identity providers. And the next one after that will be JSIPFS starting at 1930 CEST, 1730 UTC. So in roughly an hour.
I added media chain because they've been having calls the past few weeks, but I don't see Arcady or anyone. Should I remove that?
We can see when we get there when they're around.
He also, Arcady posted on the ticket that time doesn't work for them.
Yeah,
so someone should.
It's too late for them. He asked if it can be done earlier. I don't know if that's still possible to do. I don't know who needs to be in this call.
Jeremy and I would probably need to be in that call. So let's just figure out the schedule, maybe like right after now, and like rearrange it then, or do we want to
figure that out now, right?
Okay.
I think Jeremy
we have time. Yeah.
A flight later, so he can't be pushed later anyway. So maybe we could have Go IPFS and media chain in an hour at 1:30. So 1:30 would be media chain, 2 o'clock would be Go IPFS, 2:30 JSIPFS, 3 o'clock libp2p.
Jeremy has a flight, so I don't know if Go IPFS can be pushed that late. So let's double check with him.
Also, this is all Eastern time.
Is there an overlap between the people who need to attend JSIPFS and the media chain call?
Like, we also don't have anyone from the media chain people here, and they wanted specifically to do it earlier to include a member from that team that's in Greece. So we definitely need to give them like some more notice in advance, like saying, hey, like let's have the meeting in 30 minutes. That's not going to work. Let's do the Go IPFS call and then adjust IPFS and then only peer-to-peer so that Jeremy can participate, and then schedule a talk with Media Chain another day this week, maybe Wednesday, since like tomorrow it's also complicated with like flight schedule. So,
Okay, so do I understand correctly? The current version of the current version is not correct anymore. We're changing the order of the calls.
let's do Go IPFS first so that Jeremy can catch his flight.
Okay. So that means the first call will be Go IPFS, then JS IPFS, then the P2P, and no media chain call for today.
That's right. And orbit's happening in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Matt.
2 things. Thank you for Richard for setting up this ticket in advance. Let's try to settle this schedule for Monday in advance rather than rearranging it on Monday morning. It's really hard for people to follow along if we're constantly moving our meetings.
Yes.
And make sure to pick a note taker and a moderator for next week.
Yes.
Stop this.
Right. One other note on times. We need to adjust the calendar. It's fixed now. Yes. Cool. I think it looks fixed.
Does Orbit need need me to throw up a public stream like this, like Hangout? Happy to do that. Pod?
What?
No, I think we'll be fine with that one.
Okay.
Let's see if it wants to be streamed, but I think it'll just be like a quick discussion.
Okay, so I'll throw up the next public one in an hour for Go IPFS, and I'll rearrange the schedules now.
All right. Cool. My Hangout is frozen, so if I don't react to anything you do, or like I was
You're
say,
fine.
sorry. We need if that's all, we need a note taker and the moderator for next time. Who's volunteering?
I can moderate.
I can take notes. Lars, thanks for taking notes this week.
Yay, thanks.
Cool, thank you. That leaves us at 27 minutes. That's probably a new record. So thank you everyone for keeping this short and sweet. And I will see you next time, because my computer is about to crash, I think. It's turned black most of the screen, so
Yay,
yeah.
Max.
It's just Chrome, so Chrome doesn't like Hangouts.
Pour some tea over it, it might help.
Yeah.
So one last note, Richard opened an issue on the PM repo about like Google Hangouts phasing out the on-air option, and they are basically creating YouTube Live, and that's going to be like the service that lets you stream stuff. I believe basically they're going to have another setup another step where we have to grab a YouTube Live key and add to an Hangout in order to live stream it. It would be pretty cool if you could like test it this week. Also, make sure that we can like test the Hangout with a Google Apps account, because we might be able to start the Google Apps account, the Hangout with the Google Apps account, so increasing the limit to 15 people, and then like attaching that Google Hangout to a YouTube live stream using their new service. This way, we would have like 15 people on an Hangout and live streaming in the same way that we have been doing so far. Which, yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. I was going to test it this week. Awesome.
Okay.
Is there a ticket for that? I have some suggestions already.
It is on the IPFS PM issue.
And David Diaz, if you want to put that stuff in there asynchronously, that'd be cool. Don't have to, because you just said it here. Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned. I think so. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.